Hey, I'm Val and I like to play games wrong. So I wanted to know if it is possible to beat Batman Arkham Asylum without being seen. It's a pretty stealth-heavy game after all. No, you can't. As soon as you start the game, you're in a forced fight. But wait, before you click away, how many encounters can you completely skip or do stealthily when you're not supposed to? A lot more than you probably think, so that's what we, being me and YouTube and Twitch chat, discovered across 2 weeks. Obviously, our first encounter is a bust, and even during the second phase, if you try hiding, they will swarm to you like homing missiles to your location. Great start. The upcoming encounter also can't be skipped as they decide to jump you from 2 different directions when Batman is within a certain distance.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
It seems some encounters have an aura around the thugs that auto-detect Batman, so this challenge will be harder than expected. The Zaz encounter goes the same as it usually does before saving the cops and a thug, though I don't think this counts unless you choose to not save the thug. The next room I tried to be sneaky to hopefully not get detected, but again, the thugs are somehow notified of Batman before he is even close. Do they have detective vision? Another failed encounter. The Titan is a forced fight, so there's nothing I can do, but after this is when I got my first upgrade, the remote batarang. This was the single most important upgrade for the whole challenge. The next encounter was perfect for a silent takedown. Well, let me try again. Yeah, okay, it seems Batman has to do this normally. This game hates me. Once at the top of the elevator is when I decide to whip out the big guns, the remote control batarang, in the hopes that I can hit them or a wall to distract them so I can silently take them out. But the controls absolutely suck. I see why they reworked it in later games because it feels like hot doo-doo garbage. But after finally making the batarang go the way I wanted, I was able to finally change their focus. But not on where it was, but somehow on the Batman's exact location. No matter where he is, they somehow know. Maybe they do have detective vision, because holy crap, how do they know? So that was once again a complete bust, so I have to fight them normally. The upcoming encounter can be completely skipped, as the vent is right. Well, never mind. Joker is a snitch, so you have to take out one of the 4 to continue, though you can take him out stealthily. And the upcoming section is a Predator section, which, as we know, is supposed to be done without being seen, so they will be mostly skipped for time's sake. But if you do want to see Predator sections, check out my no stealth run that I did a while back. It should be in the top right corner, though since it's older the mixing isn't as good, so keep that in mind. One of the 2 gunners can be taken out without being seen, as you can't grapple up from what I could understand. Maybe if my positioning was better, I could have taken both of them out without being seen. Yes, this is foreshadowing to a later part in the video. But up next is where the first real challenge takes place. This was the ultimate patience test, much worse than the Man series as a whole, and I genuinely mean that. Some of you were already pointing out how patient I had to have been, but this is nothing compared to this single moment. As soon as you approach the Batmobile, all the thugs, whether they're looking at you or not, are immediately notified of your location. So I get testing to see if there's anything I can do, and after a few attempts is when I learned the secret weapon that allows this challenge to work. No matter where you are, they'll start charging their way there, but if you can outsmart them by either running away or even better, move to an area they can't reach, they will eventually lose their aggro. And because of this, they won't return to their usual positions and instead wander around aimlessly. So this was the plan. Move to this spot precisely, as you can throw a batarang from this spot and they can't see you or reach you. Wait for the aggro to disappear, and then wait for an absurdly long time for them to eventually be alone in a good spot, usually behind this building, and strike. And I mean a long time. I was slowly losing my sanity just waiting and doing nothing. It took almost 30 minutes for me to be able to take out just 1 thug without being seen. This is the sped up footage. Yeah, it was this long and boring just waiting. But you could help mitigate that boredom by joining me live. I stream all my challenges on both YouTube and Twitch. YouTube on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and Twitch on the weekdays when I have the time. Thankfully, it only took another 15 minutes to get the next thug. Another absurdly long and boring 30 minutes for the third. Please hurry up, please hurry up, please hurry up, please hurry up. Here's another 10 minutes for the fourth. Then, thankfully, the last two were taken out easily due to being far apart. This one section almost being the breaking point for the challenge, but I persevered, hence why you're watching this video now. Now with the Batmobile saved, I unlock what I didn't know at the time to be the ultimate weapon. The ace up my sleeve, or, if I will, the Joker for this run. Explosive gel. And with Gordon's scent, I take out these two thugs relatively easily due to them not paying attention before encountering this group. I was trying for a while the same tactic as before, then I realized this isn't even the right door, so I could probably skip them entirely. So after jumping into water, the game spawns me atop the hospital, allowing me to blow up this wall, completely skipping the encounter. Again, the Predator section is already meant to be done with stealth, so it'll be skipped. Well, not fully, because this really funny moment happened. How did he hear me stealthily take someone out? Also, I'm screwed. What if they just don't see me? I was joking when I said, what if they don't see me? Hospital Predator Section 1 down, so now we have to save the doctors, which came off as much more of a challenge than anticipated, as there are some groups of thugs just standing in the hallways, and this is when I learned that indoor encounters work completely differently than outdoor encounters. They don't lose aggro. Second attempt is when I pull out the gel, setting up in a way to where they'll run right over top of it without ever getting a glimpse at Batman, allowing me to take them out while knocked down. Well, somehow one was launched so high he died from fall damage. Not complaining. You can sneak around these guys before placing a gel to do the exact same tactic, obviously kill the thug in the gas room so he can't see me, and move to save the next doctor. However, you cannot skip this fight. Batarangs suddenly end when thrown towards them, sadly. And now with the last doctor, I use the same tactic on the hallway thugs, though one of them decided to enable no clip. Well, they can't see me, nor can I kill them, so I guess I'll just move on, and thankfully the game lets me. This doctor goes the exact same as any other playthrough, and now Joker left me a gift. How cute. Wait, it's a full-grown man. Never mind. Thankfully, it can be activated early by using a Batarang, so the same tactic works here. The second Hospital Predator section was really easy. Batman gets COVID and makes his way through the Scarecrow section with no issues. However, the next part is once again more challenging than it should have been, as 3 thugs are waiting for Batman behind the door, and when Batman does the takedowns, he usually only has the time to take out 2 before the third one stands up, meaning they'll be able to see him. This took several attempts, however, still was far easier than the Batmobile part. Eventually, I just got really lucky. When I took out one, set another gel, only one came after me, so I took them out, and then the last one decided to come after me after I set another gel, which was awfully nice of them to do. Another standard Predator section, and then the Bane fight, both of which not being worth going over for the sake of time in this challenge. Then I sneak past all the new thugs on the island before ending up in the Batmobile spot again. However, I can skip them and just go immediately to the Batcave for the Batclaw. After stealthily taking out this guy like usual, I place 3 gels in these spots before hiding next to the tiny waterfall before getting their attention, and then blowing them all up before taking out the stragglers who did not die from fall damage. That worked perfectly! Back outside the sewers, I'm here again, giving me flashbacks this time because I actually need to take people out. I'll save you the mumbo jumbo because this took over half an hour to get successfully done, though the victory was short-lived, as there is no way to skip the next battle. I tried, Batman wouldn't climb these barrels to get above them, and moving too far away reset them instead of making them lose aggro. And they won't leave their designated area, so they have to see Batman. The snipers decided to be really annoying, but I was eventually able to make my way taking them out one by one. Now I know the last guy could be argued to have seen me, but he was never able to get aggro due to still being getting up, so I don't count it, though it's still possible. Inside, the gunner encounter can be skipped by just not interacting with them, gliding past them, as well as what is usually the largest thug fight in the game by just going above them across the railing. The collar introduction goes as normal, and the next Predator section, once again, is very easy. The upcoming room seems as though they have the same "notice Batman even though they can't see him" aura, but it's actually just the thug on the right starts off facing the left, allowing him to see Batman. And if you wait a few seconds and place gel on the ground before detonating it, due to them being close together, you can take them all out.
There we go. I figured it out. Hey guys.
I'm on Dr. Young's.
However, once you're out of the office, it seems to be a forced encounter because of how fast they break through the door. And apparently all the thugs are still here if you don't take them out. And I need to get through this specific door. But getting near them or touching the floor they're on causes them all to notice me no matter what. I tried gliding above them, climbing down, hanging on the door, landing on this TV, none of which seemed to work, so despite skipping this encounter earlier, it seems to be mandatory. So whether you do it before or now, it doesn't matter. Once inside the room, the next two thugs are a bit tricky to take out without being seen, but it is very much possible. All you need to do is open the vent, glide out to this corner, and a double batarang and run in to take them out while they're still down. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I got that upgrade. It is also essential to this challenge. This next room really wants you to fight these thugs, as I tried a half a dozen times to grapple above them to avoid being detected, each time resulting in them aggroing to me. However, you can just walk along the wall. You can take them out one at a time silently, as well as have a short chat break with the knife thugs. Clearly, they don't get paid enough to care. Yes, they saw me, but also they didn't aggro, so I'm not entirely sure if it counts or not. I'll let you decide in the comments. But after this is yet another scarecrow section, nothing special to this challenge. The next thugs, I decided to try something new, as this thug doesn't aggro you until you get within view, so I used the claw to yank him towards me before taking him out.
Tug him. Now let him fall over. There we go. He's just been
Once again, the Zaz section goes as intended before another forced encounter that can't be done incorrectly. These three gunners can be skipped, as well as apparently the other thugs dipped, so you can leave with no issues. I catch the thug moonwalking before skipping this whole fight by gliding above them and hugging the wall to go unnoticed. Yet another Batmobile-esque section, the entrance to the psychiatric building. While not as long as the Batmobile, it was almost equally as frustrating, as there were two attempts that failed due to silent takedowns glitching that caused them to just die on the spot and alert everyone. But after over an hour of trying, I eventually got the run where I was able to successfully take them all out without being seen. The whole thing not being shown as A, I did it live, and B, it would be another 20 minutes to this already really long video.
It was their last time together.
After a couple attempts, I was able to successfully blow up and take out these three thugs.
That wasn't the right way, Batman. There we go, that time you got him. Easy.
Get the cryptographic sequencer, and encounter the most annoying enemy for this playthrough, the Lunatics. These guys are very, very frustrating to get by without being seen. And he saw me here, which is a shame. And once they take over the island, this challenge gets even more annoying than it already is. One Harley fight later, and the next Lunatic starts running at you from too far away to take him out with a remote control batarang and get to him in time, so he can't be skipped. However, I was dumb and didn't try this on the second one. It very much could have been possible. I saved the cops and punched this Lunatic before he could see me. I know this because they would only fall over if it was taken by surprise, even though it definitely wasn't a surprise. This next Lunatic can't be skipped because he falls out from the vent to surprise you. However, you can ignore the one up top. The Harley Quinn goon fight is definitely not more of a struggle than it should have been. I unlock triple batarang and take out the next Lunatic with remote control batarangs to not get spotted. The one in the vent can't be skipped, but I did knock him down as soon as he jumped out, and then the one in the floor grate is a little tricky, though you could probably do it better than me with better placing and timing. However, I was seen again. Outside is when things get infuriating. At first, this was actually quite easy. 2 batterings is all you really need to take out 2 of them to get by the rest, though the second area almost made me go insane. No, it's not because of the lunatic by the door, it's because of how randomly they move. After waiting for a good 30 seconds, the first one will leave you alone, but the second one has a really dumb detection radius, so I had to use a remote control battering on him. Then you grapple up and glide over to the other building before grappling up again. However, I would recommend you wait a bit to lose aggro from the one you threw a battering at. And now you wait for the one by the door to wander far enough, and that's it. Not sure why it took me over half an hour to get done. Oh wait, I do, it's because of how randomly and quickly they move.
Go. Close the door.
Here you can take out this one easily with a battering and a ground takedown. And the next area, again, very easy, as the Botanical Garden is easily accessible from atop the lookout tower. First 2 thugs are easy. A remote control battering can take out one with the shock trap and the other from a ground takedown. Another predator section, yada yada yada. I turn off the power. I tried skipping this fight for a while, but it seems you can't. I turn off the power, and apparently the cutscene is different if you do this first. Joker doesn't push the cop into the electricity water. Neat. This next group of thugs actually can be done without being seen, believe it or not. It's just very, very, very annoying to do so, as you need to inch your way slowly out of the vent before hugging the wall and setting up a gel perfectly to blow them both up. Why not use a twin battering? Well, it doesn't work. I don't know why, but only the guy on the right gets knocked down, not the guy on the left.
Finally! Holy crap.
Another predator section that's no biggie before a titan fight you can't skip, before this silly room. Why do I call it that? Well, you can just use a remote control battering to knock them all into the pit, one at a time. Well, except this guy. But reloading makes it so only this one guy is left by himself, so you can take him out silently.
Yeah, I can.
I tried the same scooting out of the vent method on these guys, but their voice line comes out before you fully exit, meaning they can't be skipped. Another predator section, which is all stealth anyways, and I'm back outside with ivy plants. Now I don't count Ivy's plants shooting at me as me being seen, as, well, they're not humans. Plus I decided to not harm them because plants are pretty cool. Getting back to the manor was super easy, following the same path as last time. Talk to Cash, and instead of going the way intended, which has a goon fight, I go a long way around and encounter a few plants and some very easily avoidable lunatics. Yippee! The sniper's blind and somehow doesn't notice one other person in the area the whole time. I go through this comically large vent before taking an embarrassingly long time to get through this predator section, but once again will be skipped. The final scarecrow section is done. This trio of thugs, thankfully, were easily able to be taken down with a triple battering and ground takedowns.
Done as well, in some cases.
Though the next encounter sadly cannot be skipped, as they have someone facing the door, so I'll always be seen. The Killer Croc section goes as usual, and there's nothing you can do to have him not show up and see you. However, this next group of thugs I tried for a while to get around them. I tried going a different way on the map, but it was blocked. I even went all the way back up through the asylum, but nothing. And due to them being in a circle, no matter where or how you approach, there's nothing you can do to avoid being seen. I spent over an hour just trying to line launch my way around them, to no success. These thugs weren't too bad, as they technically don't see you, or else they would have dodged, so they're easy, but their mate at the top is a pain in the butt, as he telepathically stops the remote control battering. Thankfully though, I was able to lure him out by grappling and jumping down before hitting him with a battering and taking him out. another dual battering, and I tactically take out the Predator section first, as I need an upgrade to get the next room done unseen. Also, I got either extremely lucky or something because I didn't move my thumbs once during this cryptographic sequence. All of them happened to be the exact same. These thugs were a bit of a pain, but I was able to eventually get them with a dual battering and some luck. I unlocked the sequencer amplifier so I can use it from atop this spot so the thugs can't see me or reach me, and thankfully the game lets me get away with it and leave despite them knowing I'm here. The Titan fight goes as usual, as I was saying. I can easily skip these lunatics and snipers by going straight for the door. The next room I take out the snipers just to be safe and make my way back inside the Botanical Garden. After a couple of attempts, I was able to take out both of the brainwashed guards without being seen with an ultra bat claw to get them closer to me so they're easier to take out.
Get pulled towards you. That's great.
The Poison Ivy fight isn't skippable in this challenge, nor are her guards she brings in. And now I'm at the very end of the game. Avoiding a few lunatics left was very easy compared to the first time they appeared, but here, at the very end of the game, is one last outdoor encounter, and there's nothing you can do to skip it as a whole, so instead of being rude and taking out the ones that allow you entry in the party, I decided maybe peace is an option. They're friendly, and the ones inside can't be skipped, so I see it more as a bittersweet ending. But wait, you're noticing that there's still some runtime left in the video? Well, aren't you smart? As right after Joker, I wasn't satisfied, so I decided to redo the game all the way up to the Botanical Garden to see if there were any combat sections I indeed could have skipped or have done wrong without realizing it. You can indeed skip this pair of thugs if you use a makeshift dual battering. Now you might be asking, why not just use a dual battering? Well, I didn't want to use a different upgrades than I used in the main run itself, but by doing this you can knock both of them down and take them out. And apparently you can grapple in this spot. Not sure why I didn't try that originally. Also, did you know that you can drain all of the Joker smoke at once by going straight for the last one with the remote control battering? Neither did I until now. And those are all the skips I could find. So, how many encounters are there that are usually supposed to be done with combat that you can either completely skip or do with stealth? Drumroll please. 37-ish. If you made it this far, thank you so much. The road to 5,000 subs continues. Also shout out to my members, Scape the Seer, for being the first member during the third live stream for this video, as well as a gifted membership also from Scape the Seer that went to Law for the Law. The support is greatly appreciated. I've been Valstrakuga, thank you for watching, have a good day, and a good night.